and there's very large hail coming into Guthrie from the southwest right now. So, Chris, appreciate that. We are sorry about all that property damage. That's what storms, of course, in April and May can do around here, and they happen so fast. There was nothing on radar near Kingfisher at 12:30, and by 1:30 we had hail that was about this big. So it took about an hour for that to occur, and it didn't take long. So 2 1/4 inch, maybe even 2 1/2 inch diameter hail. Very, very close to baseball at times. Lots of tennis balls. So huge hail there. Chris, we do appreciate that picture, and we are sorry about that hail damage. That's not fun at all. Many of us Oklahomans have had that, and we know it's no fun. So this is from Liz from Kingfisher, also showing the big hail coming down in Kingfisher. Some golf balls there. Earlier we're showing you some a little bigger than that from time to time in downtown Kingfisher. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar and take a look. On the North Doppler, hail sizes here are really coming up. This is damaging hail coming into Guthrie right now. The rotation here has really come down. These two storms are going to merge. Now, this is for everybody involved here that are listening to us. There's rotation forming near Seward Road and I-35. West of I-35 at Seward Road, there is spin forming right now. There is rotation forming near Seward. Again, live Doppler data here, nothing ever delayed. We would never do that to you. In other words, the NEXRAD data is delayed data by anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. We've got 2 Doppler radars here that are live. It's an investment in the warning process. It's an investment in your safety. And I think we all know that to be fact, but sometimes we just have to remind you, we'd never give anything delayed that is not live, because that just will not be fair to you. So live data here, big hail getting larger by the second, coming into Guthrie now. Protect your property. Could be going easily past golf ball. Let's go over to Bob Moore Chopper 4. John has had to come all the way around. He's coming all the way around, and he'll come back in on the south side of that. He had to avoid damaging hail to himself and the chopper, and our photojournalist that is being very brave today up in these rotating supercells to report the severe weather for you. And John Welsh, being a National Guard member, he's one brave guy. John, appreciate that very much. Give us an update from where you are.
Yeah, right now, Mike, we just crossed I-35. We're northeast of Guthrie, shooting back towards the southwest, and I don't know if, obviously you can see that it's smoke, actually. It's right there on the left of the screen as Kevin Joseph pans the camera right over there. We're not sure if it's from a lightning strike or maybe there was already another fire in this area, but obviously that's not associated with the storm as far as any rotation or any scud that's coming out of it. So when we come back around to the right, we stayed in between both of those two cells, and I talked about earlier how one was kind of hampering the other, and that's pretty much what appeared. It kept all that cooler air in there and slowed the rotation down. Now we kind of came around the northeast side of the storm, and we're trying to get around back towards the backside. As they pretty much collided here, they're gonna mesh and obviously grow in intensity here. There's still a little bit of light rain coming just northeast of Guthrie, but over the town of Guthrie right now, they're pretty much getting hammered here. When we kind of look towards the backside of the storm that you can see right there in the light, there's obviously that scud that's there. You talked about the rotation. We're still underneath the shelf, so we can't see just how tall it is, but that's the area that we're going to start to work on or look at as we continue to come around. It's just going to be on the southwest side of Guthrie here, Mike.
Okay, you're already coming around. We see the new mesocyclone forming. You probably can see this from Edmond, looking to the north, because that's going to be over the town of Seward. And you see it's already a large mesocyclone forming. You likely can see that from Edmond looking northward. That's already a large mesocyclone forming over Seward. We do show increasing rotation now over the town of Seward, just southwest of Guthrie. And again, just to underscore for you, with a big mesocyclone forming here, as John just so well pointed out, this is big hail. This is Guthrie right here, big hail. He is near Highway 33 on the eastern side of Guthrie. He's swinging around. You're looking at it live. He's swinging around. Big, low mesocyclone. You likely can see this from Edmond. Looks like it might even have some dry air trying to cut into it on the southwestern side back around. One big mesocyclone there. Now, Emily Sutton is also looking at this. She's in Guthrie right now. Emily?
Yeah, Mike, right now we are in downtown Guthrie. Extremely heavy rain. We've had a few pings of hail, but I know that the main hail core hasn't moved in quite yet. And it looks like people are kind of panicking a little bit about where to go now that the hail's starting. And there's also some local construction, and that's definitely creating issues with local flooding. I mean, we definitely have street flooding here, and I see that being a huge concern in any areas that have construction. And, of course, people backed up at stoplights and maybe sitting ducks as the hail core moves in.
Emily, let's talk just a little bit longer here and just tell us a little bit more about the Guthrie area. The big hail is on the southern side of town right now. It looks to be about golf ball, but it's getting larger quickly.
Yes, and we're pretty much in downtown Guthrie. And we're just sitting here waiting in traffic, and I can see so much ponding on the roads. I think we watched earlier people almost get into an accident just because the rain's so heavy right now, and there is a lot of flooding. So please be aware of that, guys, that the water can come up very quickly, especially if any construction's in the area. We had a few pings of hail earlier, but no significant hail yet. However, we know it's definitely embedded within it. We've been following this storm from the get-go, and we certainly know that there could be some large hail in here. And so if you are in the path of this storm, you do not want to be on the roads when you start having golf ball size plus hail moving through it. It can be very dangerous. And when it gets large enough, it can dent your windshield. So definitely seek shelter if you can.
Emily, appreciate that. Excellent report. Let's go over to Max 3 and show you more of these pictures that are coming in from our viewers. Kingfisher hail here, tennis ball size. Might have had a couple of about approaching in between 2 1/4 and 2.5 inches in diameter. This is from Chris Parker, and you see the hail size about the size of a fist. Went right through the windshield, clean through it, just punched a hole right in it. About fist-size hail, very close to it. About baseball-size hail. You know, fist size, fist size, fist size. Some smaller than that, but either of these golf balls punch through as well. Golf ball there. Golf ball, fist size, fist size, fist size hail, just punching through. And look at the size of the dents here. In 2010, we had hail about like this in our parking lot, and it was 2.75 to 3-inch diameter hail, and it looked almost identical to this, the damage that we had back in 2010 in our parking lot. Of course, Moore's had hail many times here in the past 5 years, 6 years of hail this big. So this is what just moved through Kingfisher a short while ago. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar, and let's show you the current severe storm over Guthrie. The mesocyclone is now at the South Guthrie exit. The South Guthrie exit with the big hail over Guthrie looks to be a lot of golf balls right now. It is merging with the storm earlier that is now weakening, coming through the Cedar Valley area. Let's go to John Welsh. John, that mesocyclone there right on the South Guthrie exit currently, golf ball size hail around Guthrie.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. The heavy hail core still hasn't came into Guthrie yet. The rain is probably still 3 or 4 miles to the west, and then obviously it tracks, 10 miles north, 5, 6 miles north of Guthrie here. The bottom left of your shot there, you see that lowering that we've been watching. That's going to be just south of the airport there, maybe, or pretty much almost a beam with the airport, just to the west of it, pretty much on the same line here. So from the airport's obviously on the south side of town, back towards the right is Guthrie proper. They're just now coming onto the rain. The heavy hail is still coming, so obviously if you're in Guthrie, obviously you're going to want to seek shelter because like you've shown, there's some large hail in here, and it hasn't decreased in intensity any. Earlier we were watching those two storms. They've now merged and became one monster storm here that's putting down a lot of rain, a lot of big hail, and then we're starting to see this rotation here right on the backside. It's still very weak, and I think it's not going to continue to increase in intensity until the rain.
John, appreciate that. We'll get right back with you, and let's give you an overview. Let's kind of look around the state here. There are quite a few hailstorms around northern Oklahoma down through central Oklahoma. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now, and there's a lot of quarter and golf ball size hail. So we have this big supercell over Guthrie with golf ball size hail, could be getting bigger. Another severe storm northern Logan County right now. Yet another severe storm in Noble County. That would be northwest of Perry and north of Perry on I-35 up toward the Billings exit, Sears and Red Rock area in northern Noble County. Another severe storm near Garber and Breckenridge. And we have this large supercell here that is merging with the storm earlier that produced the 2 1/4, maybe 2.5 inch diameter hail, about fist size, so very close to a baseball, that came through Kingfisher. These two storms now are merging, and you see the hail size now still running about 2 1/4 inch diameter near Crescent, and you see the hail core in the Guthrie area going to about golf ball size. So the hail in the Guthrie area not quite as large, at least not yet, as the storm further back to the northwest. Big hail core now over Crescent, so very, very large hail there. There is a mesocyclone. It is continuing to strengthen on the east side of Guthrie right now. Conditions are more favorable for tornadic activity as the inflow winds get more favorable for potential tornadic activity as this pushes into eastern Logan County. From there, we're talking about Perkins and Kearney and Tryon and Stillwater Perkins and Stillwater, Langston, Coyle, Highway 33 for some very large hail. Let's go back to Bob Moore Chopper 4. Mesocyclone continues to spin up now on the eastern side of Guthrie. John Welsh. Okay, let's go over to Emily Sutton here live. Emily?
Hi, Mike. We're at 33 and 77, and we are pretty much in Guthrie. The mesocyclone moving overhead. Extremely heavy rain. We've had a few pings of hail. We haven't had any major hail as of yet. But I will tell you, the ponding on the roads is significant. I mean, there's going to be some local flooding here. This is a massive amount of rain in a short period of time. The winds briefly have ramped up, and I think we're just waiting for this to overtake us. So we're keeping a close eye on the hail. And that's about it so far, Mike. Just watch out in Guthrie. Please stay off the roads. It's a good idea because you don't want to drive through this blinding rain and then run into floodwaters. Can easily overtake your car.
Emily, appreciate that. Let's go back over to the chopper shot. Now, the rotation in Guthrie is not very tight right now, and you can see that by looking at the mesocyclone. The wall cloud here, it's pretty broad. It's fairly elongated in a southeast-northwest direction. There's a little tighter spin up here next to the hail core. Again, the biggest hail right now is about golf ball in Guthrie. So the hail has not jumped up past golf ball. That's good. There's a lot of smaller hailstones in the Guthrie area right now. There's a little tighter spin right there. Kevin Josephy zooming into that. And then there's another area of spin on the other side of the mesocyclone, kind of down to the southeast right there. So the fact that the spin is not completely wrapped up in that, that's what's kept the hail size down in the golf ball, quarter and golf ball range. But you can see it is a large supercell here. Clearly rotation there is very, very evident. Live from Bob Moore Chopper 4. John Welsh, what do you have? So the center rotation now is going to be 2 miles due south of Guthrie. 2 miles due south of Guthrie is the center of that rotation on 77. 2 miles south of Guthrie is the center of the spin right now. You're looking at it there from the chopper. John Welsh, are you there?
Yeah, Mike, we got you. As we kind of were watching that one, the tail end part of that storm, where that rotation was, it's pretty much since then it's broken up and it's climbed up. We're kind of being able to shoot back in the backside of the storm here, and you can see it's almost, there's two mesocyclones that are rotating in there. As Kevin kind of zooms out just a little bit, you'll have the main one that's producing the hail, and then he'll pan around to the left, and you'll see a clear break in the break in the clouds, and then you see the other one that's on the backside. This is where those two storms still haven't completely merged together, which is probably why the hail sizes went down here, because we have two storms fighting for the same amount of energy. At this point, it looks like they're starting to collide back together, and I would expect the intensity of this storm to continue to increase from here, Mike.
Okay, John, appreciate that. Let's go to the Max 2. Let's go to Max 2 here and take a look at our latest information we have here for you. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings for Guthrie. Heads up for you folks in Coyle, Langston, Perkins, Tryon, Stillwater, and Agra. So Lincoln County up through the Stillwater, Perkins area, Coyle, Langston, heads up. And also toward Meridian, east of Guthrie, heads up there as well. Big supercell rotation there, but it's not tight. That has kept the hail size down in the quarter to golf ball size range so far in and around the Guthrie area. But it is moving due east. Conditions are a little more favorable for tornadoes. Eastern Logan County over into Lincoln County up toward the Stillwater Perkins area. So still severe with a tornado possible. It is a large supercell right now in the immediate Guthrie area. You can occasionally see that wall cloud from looking northbound out of Edmond. So it's not very far north of Edmond, but it will stay to the north of Edmond right now. There are your hail cores, biggest hail near Crescent, and quarter to golf ball size hail around Guthrie currently. And zooming in, the mesocyclone here, yet to spin up, is located on the eastern sides of Guthrie right now. Here's a storm weakening now northeast of Stillwater near Glencoe. That storm's weakened quite a bit, no longer a problem there. Aaron Brackett had a mesocyclone with that earlier, but now that storm has weakened altogether. That's very good news there. And then northwestern Oklahoma, severe storms near Waynoka and west of Alva. These are quarter and golf ball size hailers here. The main upper level storms right over northern and central Oklahoma, very cold aloft. So golf balls, perhaps even a few bigger than that in some of these heavier cores. And the slow movement of these is going to cause a lot of hail fall and potentially some flooding rainfall. Severe storm also near Deer Creek, coming into the Blackwell area, Brayman. So severe thunderstorm warnings there, eastern Grant and Kay counties. And here's Oklahoma County right here. The Turner Turnpike currently is clear up past Bristow. Some severe storms up around Tulsa right now. So we're really focused from the Guthrie area through all of northern Oklahoma currently as this activity shifts to the east and the northeast at around 25 miles per hour. The enhanced risk is from Logan County and Garfield County to the east and northeast. Hail up to 3 inches possible. So giant size hail, 75-mile-an-hour winds, and a few tornadoes in the orange shaded area. Let's go back over to Bob Moore Chopper 4 and get an update from John Welsh.
Yeah, Mike, right here. This is coming into obviously the town of Guthrie here. The rain and the hail on the backside of the storm has started to lighten up. Now you can actually see in there. You can see that that more defined wall cloud. We're watching a couple little areas of weak rotation. They'll kind of start to spin slowly and drop down 100 or 200 feet, and then they rise back up here. But that's pretty much the north side. That's going to be just north of Guthrie, and then as Kevin kind of pans the camera around to the left, you'll see all that heavy rain, and then you'll see kind of the break, and then you'll see the wall cloud right there that we had talked about, just kind of on the right side of your screen there. So there's been a couple lowerings in there, but at this point, nothing strong enough to actually extend down to the ground, Mike.
Okay, John, appreciate that. So the mesocyclone is there. It's just not really all that tight. And as long as we can keep that from tightening up, we're not going to have any immediate risk of tornadic activity. And you see the wall cloud is it is very low, but it's also fairly broad. So the rotation rate on this is fairly slow. So it keeps the hail size down. Quarter and golf ball size hail right now. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar and take a look. And so the mesocyclone here is on the east side of Guthrie. The hail fall now is on the eastern side of Guthrie, and it's also going up toward Coyle and Langston. Here's Highway 33 east out of Guthrie up through Langston, which is right there, and Coyle, which is right there. There's the river right there. So the biggest hail there is going to be in the purple shaded area, and the rotation there is on the east southeastern side of Guthrie. Again, not very powerful right now in terms of our rotation. It is not spinning up very much either, so that's also good news. It'll help keep the hail size down some. Let's go to our team of trackers here and take a look. Let's start with Emily Sutton. Emily?
Hey, Mike, we're still in the same spot, 33 at 77 in Guthrie. And, you know, we had that mesocyclone pretty much overtake us, and the winds really picked up. We had sideways rain. We even had a little bit of a small hail pinging for a while. I would say maximum size that I saw was dime size. Right now, the rain's lightening up as the storm passes, and the only thing is there are rivers of water on the sides of the road, and I'm watching some people drive through it, so that's very concerning. I know a lot of people out probably picking up the kids from school. This can be a hazard for sure. Just don't drive into floodwater, guys, if you can avoid it. But, yeah, it was really blowing and going there for a moment. Mike?
Emily, appreciate that. So dime size from Emily, and some pretty good wind as that mesocyclone came right over her. She's on the eastern sides of Guthrie right now. And the storm looks like it is intensifying some, and the mesocyclone appears to be starting to strengthen. So that is a heads up for larger hail and also possibly additional tornadic activity potential, funnel cloud activity potential. So let's go ahead and go to the North Doppler here and take a look. That's a live view from Guthrie right now. Not nearly as big a hail as what Kingfisher had. These velocities here, they are starting to pick up. We're getting a little bit tighter area of rotation here, so that means the hail size may get bigger now, and there's going to be potential here of funnel cloud and tornadic activity as it tracks out of Guthrie up toward Coyle and Langston and Meridian, down here 105 Road here, near Meridian 105 Road. And the center of the spin there is just on the southeastern sides of Guthrie right now. Let's go back over to the storm tracker and take a look, a little broader view here. So this is going to be north out of Edmond, big hail, potentially on I-35, eastern side of Guthrie. Another severe storm here between Perry and Marland, and another severe storm, which has been severe, southwest of Garber right now, and yet another severe storm west of Orlando, southeast of Covington and Douglas, near Fairmont, and north of Mulhall. That may affect you folks in Perry. So severe weather heading into Noble County, severe weather heading into Coyle, Langston, Perkins, and Stillwater, Lake McMurtry, Lake Carl Blackwell, and intensifying rotation now, eastern side of Guthrie. Let's go back over to the North Doppler here and take a look at the wind velocities here live. Again, wind velocities not nearly as tight as over by Kingfisher, but the spin is picking up in rotation, and also it is tightening up some, and that's likely going to increase the hail size, but this is nowhere near any tornadic activity right now. It is a bit of a different story comparing it to when it was east of Kingfisher. However, this appears to be ramping up some. Let's go back over to the chopper here, take a visual look at this. You can likely see it northbound out of Edmond as well. John Welsh.
Yeah, Mike, right there, that's the wall cloud I've been watching. As you can see, it's kind of starting to break up into two or three different clouds. It looks like it's either recycling there, or you know, it's kind of falling apart here. Looking back towards the right, it's still pretty ragged, still a lot of rain. It appears at this time it's almost tracking more straight east, and the speed of it has increased here as this came across Guthrie, Mike.
John, appreciate that. Let's go over to Max 2. We're going to kind of give you an overview. Again, rotation is picking up. Hail sizes now just confirmed, just coming in here live, now up to golf ball size, especially eastern sides of Guthrie. That's confirmed now, hail size up to golf ball, and there's some ping pong ball size hail as well, eastern side of Guthrie. So we have storms up here north of Moreland. Those are hailers up there in Woods County and northern Woodward County. We have a cluster of severe storms, mostly hail here. The biggest hail by far is going to be in this one on the eastern side of Guthrie, heading for Meridian, heading for Coyle, heading for Langston, heading for Perkins, potentially heading for Stillwater, heading for Kearney, heading for Tryon and Agra over in Lincoln County. It is traveling due east now at about 20 miles per hour. Hail size now confirmed has been coming up. And you see there Guthrie, the hail size, look at the hail size just go boom right there. Guthrie, the western side of town, certainly we'll say lucked out from getting really big hail, because the eastern side of town now is getting golf ball and ping pong ball size hail. Hail sizes are really coming up fast now, and Guthrie just kind of caught the edge of that really big hail because it's coming down right now. Emily's in that immediate location. Let's go to her live. Emily?
Yeah, Mike, we're still in the Guthrie area. We're about to slam east, and we had some smaller hail. Like you mentioned earlier, we really missed out in Guthrie on the very large hail, but now it's just moving east of the area. We are looking at now some big-time flooding in Guthrie, so please be aware of that. Remember, turn around, don't drown, never drive into floodwaters. That's going to be another hazard with these storms, extremely heavy rain, and when you have that meso move overhead, it comes with a powerful wind, so you'll have wind, hail, and it all blowing sideways. So not a good time to be out on the roads. If you can avoid it, seek shelter and stay away from windows as the hail moves through. Mike?
Okay, Emily, appreciate that. Eastern side of Guthrie, she's heading eastbound on 105. Let's go ahead and go back to Max 2 and show you the hail size again, really ramped up very, very quickly. Now confirmed golf ball eastern sides of Guthrie currently, traveling right down Highway 105, right down 105 into Meridian. So Coyle Langston, a little area, big hail there. So that could be quarter to golf ball there, and golf ball now confirmed eastern sides of Guthrie, traveling right down Highway 105. That's a heads up for Meridian and a heads up for Kearney and Agra and Perkins. Not a problem there in the Glencoe area. Aaron Brackett earlier was on that little mesocyclone. It is weakened altogether. Not an issue there. Severe storm in northern Noble County right now near Red Rock, and also severe storm up here by Newkirk up along Highway 177 on the western side of I-35, just very close to the Blackwell-Tonkawa Airport on the northern side there of the Blackwell-Tonkawa Airport. Severe storm there. A lot of those are going to have golf ball and quarter-size hail. A lot of it will be heavy hailfall because the storms aren't moving very much. And then we have, looking eastbound out of Guthrie, the supercell here with an intensifying mesocyclone. Hail sizes now look to be going close to tennis ball, close to tennis. The past couple of scans, hail sizes are getting quite a bit larger. A cell merger took place. The western storm merged with that storm over Guthrie, and a cell merger took place. Everything weakened for a little bit. Now things are starting to ramp back up, and the motion there on that hail core at Coyle up towards Stillwater. That's going to be Stillwater at 313, and a heads up for you folks in Perkins as well. So future radar here. This is 5:30 p.m. The storms in the Stillwater area by that time are over by Keystone Lake, and we get some wraparound potential hailstorms that come around the backside of the upper low that try to catch the northern side of the metro between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. this evening. They shouldn't be as severe, but they could have some hail with them as they travel from northwestern Oklahoma towards central Oklahoma a little bit deeper into the late afternoon hours. Let's go over to Max 3, take a look at some pictures from our viewers. They really do help tell the story here. This is from Stephen, and this is Crescent. and there is golf ball size hail. That's from Crescent. Stephen, appreciate that. I tell you, between our chopper and our team of trackers, it really does tell the story, and we appreciate these pictures a lot. And hail that came down in parts of Kingfisher looked to be about fist size, so right at baseball size, fist size hail, punching holes in the windshield there in some automobiles in Kingfisher. And from Chelsea there is 2 to 2 1/4 inch diameter hail, about tennis ball size, very large destructive damaging hail. And from Laura, appreciate that, again, tennis ball and golf ball size hail. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar, get you updated on what's going on right now. So large hail east of Guthrie now, heading up to Coyle and Langston. This hail size here is going to be golf ball to potentially tennis ball size hail. Let's go to Bob Moore, Chopper 4 here live. John?
Sorry, say again.
John, we're tracking with that storm with you. It's on Highway 105 now near Meridian, and there's a little bit of rotation there for sure coming into Meridian currently. What do you see from your vantage point?
Pretty wet, I'm sure.
So the rotation there is near Meridian. It's about 7 miles due east of downtown Guthrie right now. You're looking at it live there from the chopper. Again, not all that tight, not as tight as it was earlier, but the storm is gradually intensifying, and hail size is going to be running between golf ball and tennis ball size right now. John Welsh.
Yeah, Mike, right now it looks like the normal mesocyclone that we were observing earlier is kind of pretty much dissipated a little bit. We can't really see the heavy rotation on the inside of there. You can kind of see some little outskirts of it. It looks like it's more lined out a little bit and kind of lost the hook that it had earlier. As we kind of look on the backside of it, we're just seeing some rough scud that's normally that we normally see with these, but has no threat. Looks more dangerous than it is. But looking off towards the northeast here, there's still that hail core that's in there, and there's still a lot of heavy rain as this thing continues to track to the east.
Okay, John, appreciate that. Reports of storm damage up in the Tulsa area as well. Storm damage up around Tulsa. We're going to be checking our sources with our sister station up in Tulsa. There's been some damage up in Tulsa from this severe weather as well. So this mesocyclone here is not, the rotation with it is not really strong by Oklahoma standards. We need to keep that rotation rate strong, not as strong. That'll keep the hail size from getting too large. And this is all traveling from the Guthrie area now, east of Guthrie quite a bit, over into sections of Lincoln County and also Perkins and Stillwater, especially Perkins, large hail there. And there's the supercell there east of Guthrie traveling eastward. So large hail Perkins, destructive hail could be between golf ball and tennis ball size. Let's go back to Emily Sutton, who's in the eastern side of Guthrie here live. Emily?
Yeah, Mike, we are now heading east on 105 from Guthrie, and you know, I could see hail littering the ground from earlier. That's got to be like probably quarter to golf ball size hail still littered all over the ground that rolled through eastern sides of Guthrie. And I will tell you, Mike, I-35 southbound from Guthrie is a standstill. I don't know if it's people coming out of the severe storms or if there's an accident, but we're definitely watching the ground completely. There's a golf course here we're passing. It's completely covered in hail that fell just moments ago. So we're going to continue to track this storm and that large hail core that strengthened once it passed downtown Guthrie. But eastern sides, you can see it obviously got hit by some hail. I would say, quarter to golf ball size hail fell here, Mike.
Two coming up. Emily, appreciate that. Quarter to golf ball size hail east of Guthrie. So here's the broad view, what we have going on right now. If you're just joining us this afternoon, we have a lot of hailstorms in north central Oklahoma down to Logan County and east of Guthrie now. There's been some very, very large hail. By looking at some of the damage in Kingfisher, it looks like it was right at up to baseball size, and there was a lot of 2 to 2 1/4 inch diameter hail. And we had two cells merge over the West Guthrie area, and now things are ramping back up in terms of the rotation and spin near Meridian, Oklahoma, which is east of Guthrie. So it's a heads up for you folks in northern Lincoln County. And there's also been quite a bit of severe weather damage up in the Tulsa area. We'll show you that here coming up. There is that supercell there on the eastern sides of Guthrie. Really big hail here. Looks to be about 1 3/4 to 2 inches in diameter. Even the computer here cranking out bigger hail than that now. This is running some 2.7 to 3-inch diameter hail, so some giant hail possible now. Look how the hail core really ramped up when it got on the eastern sides of Guthrie. Really came up, and this may be the biggest hail of the day. We've already had at least 2.25 to 2.5 in Kingfisher. This looks like this could be 2.75 to approaching 3-inch diameter hail. So giant hail, Coyle, Langston, Perkins. Giant hail possible, Coyle, Langston, Perkins, Meridian over to Tryon in Lincoln County. Could go to 3-inch diameter hail there. And also there has been some activity up around Owasso we want to talk about. Tornado warning for the Meridian Storm. Yes. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar. Tornado warning now near Meridian. So here's the TVS forming right here. We're looking at this tightening up, and it's right here over Meridian. So John Welsh, the chopper, tornado warning now. Logan County over into Lincoln, far northwest Lincoln and southern Payne County. So right over Meridian, John Welsh. That's where the tornado vortex signature is located right now. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, right now that's where we're shooting. We're just to the west side of Kearney. And we're shooting right back, almost right towards Meridian. Langston's going to be off just on the right side of our shot there. If Kevin will bring the camera just around to the left. We're not seeing any, I mean, obviously everything's pretty much wrapped in rain. If we were able to see anything, it would be a power flash or something like that, unless it was right there on the outside of that scud. However, that's the area we're shooting right now. If there is a tornado in there, it's wrapped in rain. However, the mesocyclone is becoming more rounded as it's moved to the northeast. It's kind of broke away from a lot of that scud that was kind of trailing it for a while. But that's the area that we're seeing right there, and it might even be just that little lowering there on the left side of your screen that has the vortex signature in it, Mike.
John Welsh, we're going to do a minor correction here. Minor correction. This is significant, though. This rotation is tightening up, and you can tell visually looking at it, it is lower. If you look carefully, you can see some rotation. Look very carefully there. Now the tornado warning is not for this mesocyclone. It's for the one west of Stillwater. So Stillwater, heads up, big time heads up. Let me show it to you on the North Doppler radar, but you can see this one's picking up too. Here's the tornado vortex signature. It's traveling right towards Stillwater. And it's right here on I-35 east of Orlando. I-35 here, east of Orlando, tornado vortex signature traveling right towards Stillwater. When we have two trackers on it. When we have Corey and Aaron Brackett, let's check in with them. So tornado possible on I-35 in far northwestern Payne County, traveling directly towards Stillwater. So you folks in Stillwater, tornado precautions coming up. Tornadoes are possible as this storm comes into the Stillwater area. The tornado vortex signature here is right directly over I-35 right now, just coming into the Lake McMurtry area. To the west of Stillwater and just to the southwest of Morrison and just on the eastern sides of Orlando. So when we get either Corey Inman or Aaron, what? Okay, let's talk to Aaron Brackett here. Aaron?
Yeah, Mike, right now we're actually near Meridian, okay? We're on the Meridian Storm, which also is being watched for some rotation. You can see that we do have a bit of a wall cloud again. This is forming on the south side of the Meridian Storm. So there it is. You'll see clouds kind of wrapping into it, low-hanging wall cloud, and there's rotation on this, so we're right there going at it. It's coming into some very volatile air, very moist atmosphere right here, and you know these storms have had the history of rotating, so we've seen it. And as the storm that we were on about 45 minutes ago kind of died out, it got cut off. This is now the dominant storm on the south end, so we're watching it carefully.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that. Let's go to Corey Inman. He is very close to Orlando now, west of Stillwater. So we have two areas here we are concerned about. One is near Meridian, heading for Tryon and Coyle and Langston and Perkins. The other area is for you folks in Stillwater. The one for Stillwater has a tornado warning on it. The one that Aaron Brackett was just talking about, Emily's on it, John Welsh is on it, a team's on it. That's the one near Meridian heading for Perkins. That one could be a tornado producer too. There are two supercells here that have significant rotation. Let's talk to Corey Inman. He is on the storm now coming into Stillwater. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, I'm headed south out of Perry towards the storm there at Mulhall. Having to take it a little slow here. A lot of flash flooding going on in Noble County. The area of rotation is back to the southwest. Appears to be just to the west of I-35, tracking due east towards Stillwater. Back to you.
Okay, the rotation right now is 1/2 mile east of I-35 or 12.5 miles due west of the OSU campus. Let's go to the North Doppler. Corey, stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. So here's the OSU campus, 12.5 miles due west. Tornado vortex signature here, a half mile to the east of I-35. Right here, it is traveling due eastward at 23 miles per hour. That put an ETA for Stillwater. You're under a tornado warning. That would be about 30 minutes or a little less from right now. 30 minutes or a little less from right now. That is a possible tornado at any time, heading through and approaching the Stillwater area. Lake McMurtry, anybody along Highway 51, immediate tornado precautions. Lake McMurtry, Lake Carl Blackwell, areas west side of Stillwater, immediate tornado precautions. Tornado vortex signature now 1.5 miles to the east of I-35. There's I-35 right there. You're looking at sweep by sweep live Doppler radar. Nothing delayed, not even a minute, not even 2 minutes, nothing delayed, all live, always live. It is now located 12.5 miles due west of the OSU campus. Let's go back to Corey Inman here live. He's on it. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, still headed southbound here on 77 towards Highway 51 south of Perry. A lot of hail and rain in between me and it right now, Mike. Can't get a good visual. As soon as we get through Perry here, should be able to see it. Back to you.
Yeah, you're going to have a visual here awfully soon. Now let's go back to the storm tracker, and let's take a look at the storm coming out of Meridian. Got a low-level lock here. Low-level lock, that's the red spinning circle. The orange circle is a mid-level lock. The red is a low-level lock, meaning low to the cloud base area, low to the cloud base, spinning mesocyclone, spinning wall cloud, low level lock there. Big hail, giant size hail, 2.5 to 3 inch diameter hail, Coyle and Langston right now. You folks in Perkins, could be giant hail heading your way. Could be 2.75 inch diameter or larger. Let's go to Bob Moore Chopper 4. This is the southern supercell right now. And here's a look at that mesocyclone from John Welsh. John?
Yeah, Mike, we're just going to be kind of in between Perkins and Meridian, shooting back obviously towards the west here. And you can see that area that we've been watching is right there just on the kind of the right side of the screen. That rotation has actually kind of, it's cycled. It's kind of came down a little bit. It's went back up, and it looks like it's starting to move again. Looking back off towards the north, you can't really see anything because it's all covered in rain. You can see that kind of that shelf cloud right there, that lighter colored cloud kind of goes all the way up, and then it merges with the storm that's fixing to come into Stillwater that's over Orlando right in there. So that's where that storm is at. Coming back around to the, when Kevin pans the camera back to the left, you'll be able to see the spot that we've been watching that does have a tornado vortex signature on it. At times it kind of came through Langston and is continuing towards the south side of Perkins here, Mike. That's the storm we're continuing to watch. Okay,
John, appreciate that. Let's go over to the North Doppler radar. Let me show you the two areas of rotation. So just to get your bearings here, if you're joining us here live, Stillwater, tornado warning here, tornado warning. Everybody from Stillwater west down 51, it's about time to think about your tornado precautions. A couple things to remember here. The cloud bases have been very, very low. There's a lot of hail in these storms, and low cloud bases, a lot of hail, visibility oftentimes may not be very good. So it may be very difficult to see storm details as these storms approach you. But the tornado vortex signature has been tightening up and weakening a bit and tightening up again. It's now located 3.5 miles east of I-35 on the northern side of Highway 51. It may travel potentially on the northern side of Stillwater. It could turn a little lean, a little more to the right, and still could come through the Stillwater area. And I'm talking about the area of rotation that we have right now. The other area of rotation is also picking up, and it's heading for Perkins. This area rotation here is tightening up and getting stronger, heading for Perkins. The chopper should be basically sitting on the south side of Perkins right now. John Welsh and also Emily Sutton. Let's go back to Aaron Brackett. Let's look at this Perkins storm. He's been on it, looking at it as approached Perkins right now. Aaron?
Yeah, Mike, that's right. We're about 5 miles south of Perkins right now, and we're looking right at it. So you can see a couple features here. As John Welsh, Bob Moore Chopper 4 showed you, you've got this large kind of curtain of clouds right here. I'm going to pan back over to the south a little bit farther. And this is the area that we're watching carefully, as there is a little bit of rising scud kind of coming up into that. So this is the south storm, the dominant south storm, and also I've been noticing temperatures as we've gone farther south have jumped back up again. Near the decaying storm earlier, they were in the 70s. We're sitting about 81 degrees right now. The dew point is 66. So, yeah, lots of moisture out here, low cloud bases. When you've got rotating thunderstorms, as we all know, it doesn't take too much for that rotation to make its way and translate down to the ground if the storm can get organized and rooted enough. So it's coming right toward us. We're going to watch it here from the ground, but I've got to tell you, a lot warmer here on the southern edge where we are in this southern storm just south of Perkins and north of Kearney. Mike?
Aaron, appreciate that. Great report. Let's go over to the velocities here. Look at the velocities again. I can tell you, as Aaron was passing along to you here as well, this rotation right here, it is picking up. It's getting stronger. This mesocyclone's spinning faster. It has giant size hail with it the way it looks. Could be 3-inch diameter hail. It is heading directly for Perkins. Now, there's not a tornado warning in effect with the Perkins storm at this moment in time, but a tornado is possible with it, and it does have giant hail, 2.75 to 3-inch diameter hail, and it is moving directly into Perkins. Here's the northern storm, and the area that has the strong rotation there is located now just north of 51. It's in Payne County, just to the west on the western side of Lake McMurtry there. So it's approaching the western sides of Stillwater, and the maximum spin may go either right through Stillwater or the northern sides of Stillwater, kind of leaning a little more toward the northern sides of Stillwater. Let's go to Corey Inman. He's on that storm right now as it heads into the Stillwater area with a tornado warning. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, it's about 4 or 5 miles from my south here coming out of Perry. There's just a tremendous amount of rain up here in Noble County. Perry is almost like a lake trying to get through there. We're trying to navigate through all this flash flooding, get south here. We're just to the northwest of Lake McMurtry. Back to you.
Okay, Corey, appreciate that. I'll tell you what, the rotation rate on the storm west of Perkins is still coming up. It's getting faster and faster. It looks to me like there could be a tornado possible at any time. Let's go back to John Welsh. This rotation here is really coming up, coming into Perkins. Let the beam come through it. Yeah, it's getting tighter here, getting tighter, getting faster, coming right into Perkins. So you folks in Perkins, not only is there a tornado threat, which is there, giant hail as well. Could be 3-inch diameter hail. So take your precautions in Perkins. It's now located exactly 7 miles due west of town. Let's go to John Welsh and Bob Moore, Chopper 4.
Yeah, Mike, right now we're directly over the town of Perkins, obviously shooting back towards the west here. And you can kind of see the feeder cloud coming in there on the right side of the screen. You see the wall cloud and those curtains that are around the whole thing. It's actually getting a lot better organized here. The rain is starting to lighten up a little bit. It's kind of getting pushed into the backside of that storm that's coming into Stillwater here. So we're watching to see if it actually steals its energy, but like you said, it is ramping up here, and it does start to look a little bit more defined as it continues to come towards the east here. But we haven't seen anything that would indicate any consistent lowering here. We're looking at the base of those clouds at probably 700 or 800 feet above the ground here, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Again, quite concerned about Perkins, and also important things to pass along for you folks in Stillwater. Let's go to the storm tracker. School buses are going to shelter the kids at school. That's been the city is basically preparing for this. The sirens are going off in Stillwater, and in that preparation theme, a lot of the buses are either not leaving the schools or they're going back to the schools. A lot of the kids are being sheltered at schools. We're passing that directly along to you from the emergency managers in Stillwater with the tornado warning in effect, and a possible tornado near and just east of I-35 heading for Stillwater, perhaps the northern sides of town. That's been the general trend, perhaps on the northern side, but it still could be right red line, center line for Stillwater. But they are taking precautions, and hospitals are also preparing their patients for the tornado warning conditions itself also. Now, I do want to pass along to you, this is a strong hook here near Perkins, heading right for Perkins, along with giant size hail, tornado possible at any time with this one as well. Let's go back to Aaron Brackett with an update on that. Aaron? And the rotation center now is 5 miles west-southwest of Perkins, moving east-northeast. So you folks in Perkins, tornado precautions very much do continue for you. And the rotation near Stillwater is now located 8.5 miles to the west-northwest of Stillwater. And it looks like potentially the stronger rotation could pass on the northern side of Stillwater up toward the airport. However, the tornado warning does include the entire city of Stillwater. Let's go to Aaron Brackett now near Perkins. Aaron?
Yeah, Mike, that's right. We're getting ready to head back into Perkins. We're going to go through Perkins, stay out ahead of this thing. And, yeah, the rotation, really starting to come up. It's an interesting part of the storm, much like the Stillwater storm, kind of inside of there. So folks that are ahead of this thing, at the very least, they got to prepare for some really big hail. And also, we're a little concerned about that tornado threat. We're going to get you a look here just a second, getting ready to head. So we're going to be in there in just a matter of seconds, Mike.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that. So, again, tell us the trend on the Perkins mesocyclone the way you've seen it over the past 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you about the trend. There's been two areas we've been watching. First of all, the southern tail that was a good, about 10 miles southwest of Perkins, that was looking ominous 5 to 10 minutes ago. Now it's shifted. It's more so basically what's moving right into Perkins. So you should be getting a look here either now or very shortly on our stream, and that's basically heading due into the town of Perkins. Southern side does not look like anything. It's very raggedy. The scud does not look anything impressive. There's not much of a wall cloud, but what you see on our stream, that's that area of rotation that you're seeing on rapid scan Doppler radar. That's the hail core. It's moving right toward the town of Perkins. So that part of the storm, for the time being at least, looks to be the most impressive.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that. Let's go back over to the storm tracker, and let's take a close look at both of these mesocyclones here and what we have going on right now. So first of all, we have this northern storm, which has the tornado warning. Stillwater 326, Glencoe 346. So 326 for Stillwater, maybe a little sooner. It's about 307 right now. So I'm kind of tracking the back of the mesocyclone right there. The hail's out ahead of it. Now let's go to our Stillwater camera and take a look at the view looking west out of the campus here. And there you go. So this is going to be, whose stream is this? There it is right there. So that's looking to the west-northwest out of the Stillwater campus. Here's the lawn, the green here near the Student Union, the library right up here. Student Union's back here. It's on the camera's on the Student Union building. Looking here to the west and to the northwest. Sirens are going off in Stillwater. And the school buses from the emergency managers in Stillwater have returned to the school, and they're sheltering the kids in place with a tornado warning in effect and tornado sirens going off in Stillwater. So that is what the latest is in terms of the kids getting out of school up in Stillwater. They are sheltering them at the schools. A lot of those buses had just left, and they turned around, and many of them did. We don't know what each and every one of them did, of course, but they turned around and returned back to the schools, and hospitals are also preparing their patients for any potential severe weather impact this storm may bring Stillwater as it moves on in, beginning right now through about the next 30 minutes or so. Let's go back over to the storm tracker and take a look at the southern storm. And the rotation here, low-level lock, and we're talking Perkins here coming up in just a couple of minutes now. 3:15, low-level lock now on the western side of Perkins. So this southern storm may be becoming the more dominant storm. The rotation's still strong near Lake McMurtry right now, just north of Highway 51, near the bend in 51. But right now, the rotation may not be as strong as the one in Perkins right now. Let's go to Bob Moore Chopper 4, who's hovering over Perkins currently. John?
Yeah, Mike, right there you can see in the bottom of our shot, that's the town of Perkins here, and that's a storm that we've been watching for some time. Obviously, the rain and the hail is right there over the river. Just to the right is Kevin Pan, just a little bit. That's the area that has the feeder cloud that's coming in there. We haven't really been able to see very much rotation come out of this. It appears it'll kind of start to rotate and come down a little bit, and then it kind of goes away just about as fast as it comes down. The backside of the storm, like Aaron talked about 10 minutes ago, looks pretty ominous, like there was a high possibility of a tornado. It since kind of looked ragged. That's what the front of this side of the storm is starting to look now. I think the rain and all the hail is just taking all the energy out of this. It looks like at this point the heavy rain is going to stay just right over the river, so just south of town. But there's still some, it looks like heavy hail that's probably going to come right through the town. That's going to be just north of the rain. We're seeing the lightning pick up here in the storm as it's about to come right over Perkins, probably about 1 mile west at this point, Mike.
Okay, John, tell me your exact location right now from Perkins.
Yeah, we are about 4 miles to the east of Perkins here, Mike.
Say, John Welsh, tell us exactly where you are from Perkins right now. Tornado warning coming out for Perkins right now.
Yeah, we are 4 miles. We're 4 miles to the west of Perkins. You can see the town of Perkins there in the bottom of our shot, and then the river, obviously just on the left. We're facing south, shooting more towards the southwest here.
Okay, so did you say you're 4 west of Perkins? Is that right?
No, I'm sorry, we're 4 east of Perkins, shooting back towards the west.
Okay, perfect. Tornado warning in effect for Perkins. Now, John, show us Perkins in your view. Tornado warning in effect for Perkins. I'm showing a TVS right now. Show us Perkins.
Okay, Mike, right there in the bottom of your screen to the right is the town. That's the town of Perkins right there. The main part of town, if Kevin will pan to the right just a little bit, is right there. The river's obviously to the left. There's the town of Perkins. And the storm is coming over the top of it right now.
Okay, now, look at this shot. Now, hold the shot here. Here's the feeder. See this? That's the feeder cloud right there. This is the feeder cloud, and it's coming into the mesocyclone, which is right here. Here's Perkins. There's the water tower. John, are you sitting over Highway 33 right now? Okay, let's go to the North Doppler. Let's go to the North Doppler. Tornado warning Perkins. Here's Perkins. So John is right here. The feeder cloud was coming in right here. This is significantly strong rotation, probably the strongest of the day that we've seen so far. And right now it is exactly 1.75 miles southwest of Perkins. We're zoomed in here. This is only 8 miles across on the screen. We're zoomed all the way in. It looks like a tornado vortex signature right now. Now 1 mile west-southwest of Perkins. Is the chopper shot back? Let's look at 1 mile let's look at Dillard. Let's go to Dillard. 1 mile west-southwest of Perkins right now. Looks like a TVS, Aaron Brackett and Mark Dillard.
Okay, yeah, pulling here.
For Payne County, which will include the city of Stillwater.
Okay, that's the pic. So this is Aaron Brackett's stream. It looks like he is in Stillwater, showing a TVS 1 mile south, west-southwest of Perkins right now. Tornado warning in effect. Immediate tornado precautions in Perkins, interior closet or bathroom away from windows. Hail may be giant, could be 3-inch diameter hail. This is the feeder cloud right here. And right here next to Aaron's name is where the mesocyclone is going to be, right here as it comes into Perkins. It's doing so right now. So take your tornado precautions now, away from windows, interior closet or bathroom, storm cellar or basement. In tornado winds, mobile homes are not safe in tornado winds right now. If we have Aaron Brackett, can we go to him currently? Do we have him?
I'm here, Mike.
Okay, go, Aaron.
All right, Mike, people in Perkins need to take their tornado precautions. This is the most movement that we've seen in these clouds all day long. It's more than we saw yesterday. It's coming into the town. The sirens are not sounding, but we have inflow winds coming right in, which we didn't have earlier. It is not gusting out. Winds are coming in. There's lots of rising scud, lots of motion. Once again, the most we've seen all day long and all day yesterday. So people in the town of Perkins, tornado warning for the city. We're about 2 miles off to the east right now. We're at Stadler and 122nd Street. We're looking into it. A lot of upward motion. This thing is literally seconds away from producing a tornado. Would not surprise me in the least.
Okay, perfect. Appreciate that, Aaron Brackett. So, again, immediate tornado precautions, Perkins. I'm showing the TVS now, 3/4 of a mile west-southwest of Perkins, moving east-northeast. This is serious right here for Perkins. Coming into Perkins right now, you've got to protect your property, potentially protect your lives. Tornado warning in effect here. Tornado vortex signature on live Doppler radar. 3/4 of a mile west-southwest of Perkins, moving east-northeast. And a new tornado warning for the city of Stillwater for the northern storm. We're going to go to Corey Inman. He's on our standby feed right now. We will go to him if he has anything to report on anything on the ground or not to the west of Stillwater. So he's in our queue right now for you folks in Stillwater. He's there. If something changes, he's going to come on board with us. Right now, we're going to talk to the chopper if we can and look at John Welsh. Let's look at that. John, coming into Perkins right now, tornado warning. What do you see? So look at the feeder cloud. Very impressive signature there. Let's go back to Emily Sutton. She's now 3 miles south of Perkins, looking right at it from the south, looking right into Perkins here live. Emily, what do you see?
Yeah, we are on 177, and we are looking directly at the tornado-warned storm, Mike. And it's hard to see because we have some rain wrapping on around the back edge of it. We're located just south of Perkins, but I can hear exactly what Aaron was talking about. The clouds are moving pretty fast, a lot of motion into the storm. We're getting some higher wind gusts feeding into the storm. So we don't have a clear view of any base at this time. We may drive a little bit farther north, closer to the rotation. But anyone in the town of Perkins, you need to seek shelter for a possible tornado on the ground, Mike.
Yep, it looks like it's wrapped up in some rain. We're showing it on velocity. We see it, and it looks like it's in the rain coming into Perkins literally at this moment in time. If the chopper shot is good, if the chopper can iris up, it looks like it's wrapped in rain, and we're showing a tornado vortex on Doppler radar live, and it's now less than a half mile southwest of Perkins. So we're going to want to look at Perkins. John Welsh, if you're with us, can you zoom into Perkins? It looks like it's wrapped in rain, and we're showing the tornado vortex signature. It looks like a tornado on the ground from Doppler radar looking at it live. Can you show us Perkins right here?
Yeah, right there, Mike. Perkins is going to be just in the far right side of your shot. There it is. That's the town of Perkins. Obviously, the rain that you talked about, wrapped in the rain, is right there. What we were trying to do is get around the back side of the storm and see if we're able to kind of see in there. There is a lot of wrapping rain in the back. There is a lot of motion on the back side of the storm that's circular. So it would not surprise me at all if there is a tornado in there, because just watching the water, it's getting pulled back in on the back side of the storm. Now we're going to try and come back around and get right in front of Perkins and shoot back towards the west. Now we're southeast of Perkins. We're fixing to cross the river right there. Perkins still in the bottom of your shot. It's probably about 1 mile from coming over the heart of the town. Go back to your left just a little bit, Kevin. Right there, you can kind of start to see the water tower. That's going to be on the south west side of town there. So that's where the heavy rain is starting to come in here. The rain, it looks like it's lightening up, but at this point we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen power flashes or any other thing that would indicate that it is on the ground, Mike.
Okay, so the very latest we still have a possible tornado on the north side of Highway 51. Now coming into the western sides of Stillwater. Tornado warning for Stillwater continues. We do see what appears to be occasionally a TVS, tornado vortex signature, and then we have this tornado I think is likely on the ground. It's wrapped up in rain. This is all a feeder cloud here. So let's come on down here. Let's follow this feeder cloud, and the tornado vortex that I see on Doppler here live is actually in Perkins right now. And so John's coming around. We got to look for power flashes. Let's hope there's nothing on the ground. But I see the tornado vortex signature from live Doppler in Perkins right now. So we're going to be looking in this rain. There's Perkins. See Perkins right there. What we don't want to see are any power flashes. Excellent view from Bob Moore Chopper 4. You folks on these highways here, you don't need to be there. This is not good in a tornado warning area with a tornado bearing down. You do not want to be on these highways. There's a tornado that has been wrapped in rain back in here. So far, no power flashes in the Perkins area. This is Highway 33 right here. Go John Welsh.
Yeah, Mike, right there you can see the feeder cloud is increased dramatically here, going probably 8 to 10 miles north of the storm. The rain is starting to lighten up here, so if we do see, if there is a tornado on the ground, we should be able to see it. Coming back towards the left, right over the river, there's just a little bit of the scud. However, I think if there is a tornado, it's going to be just still a little farther in the rain here at this time. We haven't seen, like you said, any power flashes or anything on the ground, but the feeder band has increased, and this mesocyclone here looks like it's trying to get a little bit more organized here, Mike.
So far the circulation is more impressive in the Perkins area than it is west of Stillwater, although a tornado warning does continue for Stillwater. We're looking here at the southern storm. Let's go over to Aaron Brackett and Mark Dillard. No signs of any power flashes here, so that's good. Aaron Brackett, go.
Yeah, Mike, I got to tell you, the storm has accelerated just a little bit. We're having to pull over, get a quick look, and then blast off to the east. Right now we're on the highway. We're about 6 miles due east of Perkins, between Perkins and Ripley, and the sirens were sounding. The sirens were sounded about 3 to 4 minutes ago in Perkins, so that just happened. Lots of motion here. I mean, every now and then, it just gets so low to the ground. Looks a little raggedy right now, just like John was saying, a little bit less organized for the time being. But, every time it's cycled, when it has looked more productive, it's looked even worse than the time before. So, the last time we spoke, I told you, it was the most rotation that we've seen any storm today and any storm yesterday. So this storm is still healthy and it's cycling, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go over to the Doppler radar view. We have lost the TVS. The TVS right now does not appear to be there, and it looks like it's on the eastern side of Perkins, what is left of it. It looks like it produced a tornado in the rain back here about 1 mile to 2 miles west-southwest of Perkins, and then it looks like that it lifted as it was in the wrapping rain. It lifted as it came over Perkins, and now the maximum spin is on the northeastern sides of Perkins, right over Highway 33. Let's go over to the storm tracker. Let's talk about Stillwater. Update here for Stillwater. You can see the impressive hook there. That rotation, though, over Perkins, eastern side of Perkins, is not as strong. It is not as strong. There is a little spin here just north of 51, and Corey Inman is there. Still a tornado warning for Stillwater, although the rotation there also is not as strong. Let's go to Corey Inman live. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, on Highway 51 coming into the west side of Stillwater. If there is a tornado in there, Mike, it's going to be embedded in the rain. People in Stillwater are not going to be able to see this thing as it comes through. It should pass on the northwest side of Stillwater, maybe up towards the airport, and then go on to the northeast of Stillwater. But if you're in Stillwater, go ahead and take your tornado precautions. You're not going to be able to see this thing at all. Back to you, Mike.
So, Corey, visibility really very poor in these storms, right?
Yeah, Mike, there's so much rain in these storms that there's water all over the roads. We're having to dodge all the low spots where water's just rushing over the roads here. And it just continues from Stillwater on to the north.
Okay, we're looking at the rotation here as we're off camera. Looking at the rotation. Rotation is not as strong here. Corey, it is on the northern side here of 51 by just about a mile or so, and it looks like it's about 5 to 6 miles due west of downtown Stillwater. So it'll be around 4 to 4.5 miles to the west, maybe a little west-northwest, or really right out west of the campus. It is not as strong as it was earlier. So that rotation for Payne County has diminished some. That is good news. Still a tornado warning in effect. You see the little hook right there. There's also a developing hook here. This is going to go into Osage County pretty quickly near Horseshoe Bend up here near Sears and Red Rock. There is some rotation forming that's coming up pretty fast southeast of Marland. So that's a heads up for eastern Noble County. Supercell there with intensifying rotation, getting larger hail. So tornado possible there as it comes across the Horseshoe Bend area of the Arkansas River and then up into Osage County. Osage County out of Noble County, heads up there east of Red Rock and southeast of Marland. So rotation there might clip the far northwestern edge of Pawnee County, quite a ways west of Ralston. But you had folks in Ralston, heads up for you, Horseshoe Bend area and Ralston, rapidly intensifying rotation there with a supercell that is moving due east and just north of due east. Still a little rotation there west side of Stillwater and still some rotation eastern sides of Perkins right now. Let's go to the North Doppler radar and take a look at what we have going on. This rotation is still a large mesocyclone. It is not as tight as it was earlier. And then we also have a little spin here, 4 miles due west of the OSU campus. So let's go to Corey first, and then we're going to go over to the chopper and look at Perkins. But both of these right now do not appear tornadic. Let's check with our trackers and take a look on the ground here, what we have ground truth. This is from Corey Inman here. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, we're here on the west side of Stillwater. Nothing that we can see appears to be tornadic at this time. The area of rotation is just to the north of us here, north of Highway 51, going across the northwest side of Stillwater up towards the airport. Back to you.
Corey, can you show me with your camera? Well, let's just kind of try to nail this down completely for Stillwater here. Can you show me with your camera a point that's about 3 to 4 miles due west of the campus, about a mile north of Highway 51? Can you show us that location? And what does it look like right now? We have the spin right there. That's the spin responsible for the tornado warning. But I don't see a tornado vortex signature right now. Can you show us that area?
That should be in the shot right now, Mike, and it's completely rain wrapped if it's in there. There's so much rain here moving into Stillwater that, like I said, you're not going to be able to see it. I don't see anything that looks like there would be anything on the ground moving into Stillwater. We're trying to get through some trees here real quick, but I'm not seeing anything that looks like it's on the ground right now, Mike.
Okay, let's go from that to the North Doppler. So we're going to go from Stillwater. He's looking at it right now. Don't see anything on the ground. In the velocity signatures here, we don't see anything on the ground here either. And if there were, we'd be able to see it. And we don't see it here. It's not there. That's live Doppler velocity. Don't see it. The red and the green, different changes in wind direction, yes, but nothing is tight right there. And the OSU campus is going to be sitting right there. So we're talking about 1 mile, 2 miles, west and 1 mile north of the OSU campus. That's the maximum area spin, but there's no tornado vortex in that. The red's away and the green is toward. There's nothing. It's going like this, yes, but there's nothing tight right there. Look at this. You can see the difference between that and this. The green is toward Oklahoma City and the red is away, and the green, the red going to bright green is faster away. So this is really ripping that way, and that's coming back this way. Ripley, still tornado precautions for you. And I think Aaron Brackett had a really good view of that feeder cloud. Control room, take one of our multiple trackers we have out. Yes, there it is right there. Aaron Brackett, I don't see a tornado vortex signature, but it is coming into Ripley right now.
And, Mike, that's exactly where we're at. We're in Ripley, in the downtown area, pulling through. We're heading off to the north right now. And, yeah, it's a feeder band, but no, real close lowering. The rotation has come down a little bit. I will note, though, the winds in Ripley are calm. There's pretty much zero wind right now in the town of Ripley. So, these folks need to prepare for, at the very least, some large hail with this thing. But right now, that we were a little bit earlier when it was nearing Perkins. It was a little, I'll say it was a little scary for the town of Perkins a little bit earlier, but now as it continues on, at least
Meridian
for the
Technology
time being,
where?
I believe they're in Stillwater
a little bit.
Okay. Aaron, appreciate that. Meridian Technology School is also holding their students. Meridian Technology School is also holding their students. So the continued diminish in intensity of the rotation of both of these storms. The one up here near Red Rock heading for the Ralston area, that's still a supercell there. That one also may be weakening a bit. So all three of these supercells, the rotation rates have been coming down. And it looked like we had a tornado southwest of Perkins. And it looked like it was in the rain, and then it looked like it lifted as it came right over the town of Perkins. So we're going to take a closer look at that and see if there's any damage southwest of Perkins. But that was what just happened basically in the past 15, 20 minutes. But the rotation went right over Perkins. It was all wrapped up and involved in rain that was spinning inside the mesocyclone. So it was a rain-wrapped area of strong rotation. But right now, all three of these currently do not look tornadic. Now, the one that's still pretty ominous is the one coming into Ripley. Let's go to, do we have Emily Sutton? She's located on this southern storm here as well. Say that again. Let's go to Emily Sutton. Emily?
Hi, Mike. Yes, we are located just southwest of Ripley and southeast of Perkins, and we were there when it pretty much was about a mile or two in front of us, possibly dropping a tornado wrapped in rain. We definitely had the winds really ramping up. So I wouldn't doubt that there was a tornado touchdown within the rain there, which is always very dangerous because you can never see it. We're still tracking it, and we're still tracking the broad circulation. Definitely the strongest winds of the day. Very powerful inflow winds feeding into this storm, Mike. We'll continue to track it as it moves off to the northeast. But we are watching it from afar now, pretty much 5 miles southwest, maybe 5 to 10 miles southwest of Ripley.
Okay, Emily, appreciate that. Let's go to Bob Moore Chopper 4, then we're going to go over to Aaron Brackett and Mark Dillard and check that out from our ground truth there over in Ripley. Look at the feeder cloud coming into it. Really impressive feeder cloud, but the rotation it's broad, medium, strong rotation that is nothing really tight. And we can see all that on live Doppler radar. Nothing ever delayed here. I just want to point that out to you. We talk about live Doppler a lot. And I guess we should say it every spring that we haven't used anything that's been delayed since the 1980s. Since the 1980s, it's always been live, and it always will be live. That's why we invest all the resources into this equipment, so it's live, not delayed a minute or even 2 minutes. It's all live. Speaking of live, John Welsh is still in the chopper with our photojournalist Kevin Josephy, also live. John, rotation is still pretty strong, but it's not tight. It's coming over Ripley right now.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. We were just going to be to the west of Cushing here, shooting back towards the west here, and like you talked about, there's that giant feeder cloud that's continued to grow, and then when you kind of look back towards the left, you're starting to see the wall cloud that's in there, and it kind of rises and lowers a little bit. The rain is lightened up here. There's another cell that's, I guess, coming in behind it that's pulling a lot of its rain here. It hasn't. There's not been one particular spot that's kind of broken free and taken charge and actually started to rotate. Like you talked about, there's a lot of broad rotation. There's nothing that's really rotating right here on the ground. The temperatures are still here. The dew points are still here. The wind has actually has laid down a little bit here on the surface, so it might not be getting that low-level wind that it needs, which is maybe has caused the the rotation to die down a little bit. But it's still getting a lot of energy here. The rain has died down, and we're going to just continue to keep an eye on as it tracks to the northeast.
Okay, you folks in Cushing, heads up for you also, Cushing. So let's go over to Aaron Brackett. He's on the storm tracking it. He's right there underneath the mesocyclone. John's tracking it from the sky. So Cushing and Ripley, still a heads up. Tornado still possible here. The rotation is strong, but it's not tight. So that's what we have going on currently. Severe thunderstorm warning, still some really big hail with it. But right now we don't see a tornado vortex signature. It looks like you're somewhere on the highway there, Aaron, to the west of Cushing. Is that right?
Actually, we're about 6 miles north of Ripley now. We're going to get to the highway, and it's about 3 miles away, and then we're going to cut east and get ahead of it. We're in the heavy rain right now. There were some pretty heavy west winds inside the thunderstorm. Surprisingly, no hail yet, no large hail yet, but we're going to try to stay out ahead of that. About a minute ago, about 5 miles north of Ripley, saw a Jeep that had skidded off into the ditch, and someone was trying to pull them out before the worst of the storm gets there. So, folks, if you're in the path of this, try to stay home, get to shelter if you can. Pretty dangerous out here. We're just staying ahead of it. We'll get you a look in just a few minutes.
Aaron, appreciate that. So the tornado warnings are going to be allowed to expire. So that trend is being confirmed by the National Weather Service. We've seen the rotation rates come off on live Doppler radar data. So these tornado warnings here, the one for the Stillwater area, that's going to be allowed to expire. It's going to be allowed to expire. The rotation there is on the northern side near the Stillwater Airport. It is not very strong. The rotation near Ripley is not very strong in a tight sense. It is a broad area of rotation. These things can spin broadly all day long, but they will not produce tornadoes. It's got to be tight rotation, and we do not see that any longer like we did just to the west-southwest of Perkins. So that has changed there, and that is a trend definitely for the better. So the tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire for Stillwater, and the tornado warning for the time being is going to be allowed to expire for the Ripley, Perkins, Yale area. However, you folks over by Cushing and Yale, stay alert, as tornadoes may still be possible as this travels over toward Creek County, Yale, Oilton, Drumright, and Cushing. Definitely stay alert. Still some very large hail at that southern supercell, and the rotation rate has come down also near the Horseshoe Bend area west of Ralston coming into Osage County. That rotation rate has also come down. Let's go back to Bob Moore, Chopper 4 here live.
Looking out for you. This is Oklahoma's News Channel 4 at 10.
Tornado warning for the Meridian Storm.
Tornadoes.
If there is a tornado in there, it's wrapped in rain.
Hail.
There's a lot of big hail that damaged a bunch of cars.
There's the giant hail that came down in parts of Kingfisher.
Tonight, calls to insurance companies, and cleanup is underway.
We've seen a lot of roof damage here in the town of Coyle.
And tonight we have team coverage. Bill Miston is live with a look at the damage and cleanup.
But first, we need to get right to Mike. Mike, things have seemed to calm in the last few hours.
They have, Kevin, yes, but earlier today, of course, as we know, it was a completely different story. We had huge hail, very heavy rain. There were water rescues up north of Perry, up near Sears and Red Rock, and heavy, some street flooding rains in Guthrie. Guthrie also had some big hail. Of course, take a look. We had one tornado today. This was just to the southwest of Perkins. This is from Jeremy Carter here, and this is an amazing storm here. Big mesocyclone here, big feeder band coming in right here, and the tornado, you can just about see it here just to the southwest of Perkins there. There was no damage from the tornado in Perkins. Very good news there. Of course, a bit earlier it was the huge hail. Here's some of the biggest hail we have seen, 3.1 inches in diameter. That's from Roger there from the immediate Perkins area, and then Kingfisher, of course, earlier, the first storm that went up very quickly at about 1:30 this afternoon, produced a lot of 2 to 2 3/4 inch diameter hail. A lot of pictures coming in. We appreciate these. Laura there. Angie, Crescent, moved into Logan County, Crescent, Cedar Valley area. There's the trees being stripped of their leaves and small branches from the hailstorm in Kingfisher as it came on through. And of course, the result was extensive damage to not only some cars, you see some fist-size holes here, about 2.75 inches in diameter, but also some structural damage to some buildings in Kingfisher from that tremendous hailstorm. Then Weatherford had some hail from the wave that came in a bit later. This was wave number 2, and this hail was much smaller here. And then the hail came into Oklahoma City right around 7 o'clock, and you see the hail coming through the storm gutters there off the roofs. A lot of very small hail, about a 1/2 inch in diameter, but it was really thick. And that also blew through Oklahoma City. Some folks in the west side of town had a little hail. Then we ended the day with this nice rainbow from Glenda. Really, really pretty. And that was the rainbow right here in central Oklahoma. Right now, there are no watches or warnings for our viewing area. Kevin and Linda, the upper storm system now just to the northwest of Oklahoma City. It's spinning in some showers now back into Oklahoma City. So we'll likely have some more rain showers come through. There might be a little bit of lightning and thunder with this. But right now, there is no severe activity in central Oklahoma. But it should get wet again tonight in the metro. I'll talk about what that means for Friday and the weekend. That's coming up.
Mike, thank you. Our friends up the Turnpike in Tulsa are cleaning up tonight.
Let me show you why. A tornado touched down in Owasso. You see the damage that was left behind. Windows blown out, shingles off roofs, trees uprooted, damage to garages and other things. Scenes we're familiar with here in central Oklahoma. There are reports that power is out in the area tonight, but the good news, no reports of injuries.
Let me show you the scene from Bob Moore Chopper 4. You're over Langston this evening. You can see car windows knocked out because of the hail.
We have team coverage tonight. That same storm left quite a mess in Coyle as well.
And that's where News Channel 4's Bill Miston is. Bill?
Linda, Kevin, I'm standing outside Coyle Elementary School, and come here, let me show you something. This is one of the windows that was blown out by a hailstorm that hit town just this afternoon. Just one of them causing much damage throughout the area. The sound of circular saws and drills were a common sound in the small town of Coyle Thursday afternoon. Cutting up sheets of wood and covering broken windows. Hail, what some say were as large as golf balls or larger, striking siding, denting and damaging cars, and breaking windows.
It was the biggest hail I've witnessed.
Coyle School Superintendent Josh Sumrall says the hail was coming down heavier than rain at points during the storm.
We actually had 4 windows on the front side of our elementary school here busted out, and we actually had kids in the classroom when that happened.
Once stopped, students and staff were moved to the storm shelters for safety.
Proud of our teachers and staff and students' body for handling the situation.
Tail light here was completely taken out.
Aaron Schmitz tallying up the total damage to his car.
Pretty good hail damage everywhere across the top and the sides. Then the most interesting part, I think, is got a perfect circle in the middle of my windshield over there.
Schmidt, an EMT on his off day, now having to take care of some unwanted work. Already been on the phone with the insurance company?
Yes, I have. I'm not looking forward to that.
As people began assessing the damage, so did Coyle Fire and Emergency Management. Just another Thursday in Coyle, right?
Yeah. Pretty quiet around here until now.
Now, thankfully, none of the students here at Coyle Elementary were injured when this window and others here in the building broke, and they won't have to worry about the damage tomorrow. That's because Coyle operates on a 4-day school week, and next week is the last week of school. Reporting live in Coyle, Bill Miston, Oklahoma's News Channel 4.
Bill, thank you. At the top of the show, Mike told you about the hail in Kingfisher. Made a mess. Shattered windows and cars and buildings and left big dents in many of them as well. As you can imagine, hail that size can do a number on a roof. Tonight, the Kingfisher Police Department is warning that roofing contractors have already swooped in, going door to door, trying to inspect roofs. The city says you need to ask them for a permit. It's required for them to have that to do business in the city. It also protects you from being taken advantage of.